By dawn, the night's heat had broken, replaced by a brittle chill that didn't match the season. Dew glazed every surface, even inside the tower where the air should have stayed dry. The smell of the marsh was different now, less of rot and algae, more of something metallic, like rainwater left to stand in an old steel drum. Lieutenant Alden moved along the fence line, taking stock. The ground should have been a churned mess from the movement of 12 men, but the soil was undisturbed beyond a perfect line of boot prints. Each print was sharply defined, right down to the tread pattern, deep-lugged soles from a style of combat boot issued in the early 1950s. The impression stopped abruptly at the southern edge of the fence, the mud smooth beyond. Mercer crouched near the eastern marker post, holding up the strip of fabric he'd found at first light. It was no longer blue and white, but faded to a ghostly gray. The weave was coarse, hand-stitched along one edge and stiff with age. He handed it to Park, who turned it over once, then tucked it into a pouch without a word. In the tower, Kim sifted through the logbook pages. The three strange symbols were still there, but overnight, the ink had bled into the paper, forming a faint watermark visible even when the page was held to the light. He tried rubbing it with an eraser. Nothing. The marks had sunk into the fibers as if they'd always been part of the page. The radios were quiet again, except for one, the old PRC-25 that had been deadlined for months. Its battery was corroded, its wiring frayed. Yet at 0613 hours, it came to life for a single burst of static, followed by the faint echo of marching feet. No voices this time, just the rhythm of a platoon on the move, fading after 12 measured steps. Wildlife had not returned. Normally, by sunrise, the paddies erupted with bird calls and the drone of insects. Now, the only movement was the slow drift of mist over the marsh. Even the frogs stayed silent. Alden called the men together for the debrief, his tone clipped and official. He noted the positions, the distances, the timings. When Mercer began to describe the figures, Alden cut him off with a look. "We stick to observed movement and environmental anomalies," he said. "No speculation." Park translated for the ROKA troops, omitting the older soldiers' muttered corrections. They knew the name for what had happened, Mugunghwa night, but it would not appear in any report. By mid-morning, a jeep from battalion headquarters arrived with 2 intelligence officers. They photographed the fence line, took the fabric strip, and ordered the boot prints covered with fresh soil. One of them leafed through the logbook, tore out the page with the symbols, and slipped it into a folder marked with red diagonal stripes. When they left, the air felt lighter, but not clean, as if the marsh had exhaled something it wasn't done with yet. From the tower, Mercer watched the mist thin over the DMZ. For a moment, he thought he saw movement far out in the reeds, shapes spaced evenly apart, heads aligned. But when he lifted his scope, there was only the empty shimmer of morning heat.